I'm Paige Creamer from Steubenville, Ohio, and I'm a yoga instructor here in Pittsburgh at the Om Lounge, and I also have Moon Baby Method Works, which I'm the creator and founder of, and Moon Baby, I feel like the mother of sometimes, which it's just still coming to life in the past year. So that's what I've been doing and been about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you first start Moon Baby?
I first started Moon Baby, oh my gosh, it's hard to pin the exact date, but I remember the day that Suze and I were like dancing in the studio when I was meant to be doing my office job, and I was like, Moon Baby, that's it. And I think I immediately made like 3 Instagrams and got the domain and like the Google Drive and all of that stuff like that day. But I don't know that I had a client for like many months after, or even really knew what I was gonna do necessarily.
But the name kind of came to you before
Yeah,
then.
and I knew I wanted to do Reiki one-on-ones and like start to take clients like that and, you know, see what happened.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about like how Moon Baby has evolved since you had that idea of the name come to you?
Yeah, so I had my very first Reiki clients were on this, so I would like pull this out into the middle of the room, and like I had sheets like that I bought special and would put the sheets on this bed. And it was just students who, after my Nirvana class, I started to have. So first of all, let me tell you this with yoga, because it all really started when I was teaching Nirvana and teaching here. So I didn't know anybody here. I didn't know any students at Om Lounge. I signed up for yoga teacher training here because of a hairstylist in West Virginia. She was like, I heard of this place. I was like, word. So I signed up, took a class, and I was like, oh, I'm never gonna be able. I didn't know Suzanne, didn't know anybody. So like cut to throughout training, like I didn't have this mentality of like, oh, that's the owner, or like, oh, whatever. So I was just like, hey, do you want to go get a drink after class? You want to go down to Kaya and have a margarita? And we were, having a drink. And I was like, I think that I could do something on Sunday nights. And there wasn't a class here on Sunday nights. I'd been a yoga teacher for 3 minutes, I think. And I was like, hi, I think that on Sunday nights, with my 0 friends here in the city, I'm gonna make this class. But then I made the class, and it was just a little different than, you know, the regular Om Lounge class. But at the end, I wanted to put a little bit of, oh man, it's weird to think about now, of like, what I felt like I was good at, and like I felt like I was seen, like I had something to offer. So I just felt really comfortable to be like, I think I can do this, and then do it. And so you talk like the evolution of it. So it was really that. And then I was like, oh, these people are liking how they feel when they leave. Like they're, you know, the feedback is like, this is helping or whatever. So then I started to take one-on-one Reiki clients. And at first it was just like a couple of people here and there. And then, you know, over time, like eventually a lot of other things were like hitting tipping points. And I just said, okay, well, whenever I have this many clients a week or whatever, I hit this goal, I'm gonna like fuck it up and I'm just gonna do this. And that happened so much faster than I thought it was gonna. And so in the past year, I just threw away all my shit and moved home, and now I'm just doing this.
So yoga came before Reiki for
Yeah.
you.
Well, not really in practice. So not in learning at all. I have all these notebooks. There's one in my car of like from more than 10 years ago about like, I'm like journaling about like bhakti and, you know, all of these like Sanskrit words. And I had never probably done a warrior two like at all. And so I had, her name is Carrie, and she was my first like energy teacher, and she really helped me. My dad was dying of brain cancer, and so I was 19 or so, and like really, you know, maybe older, 20, I think maybe he got diagnosed. It's hard to, my therapist will tell you I don't have to remember dates, but she really helped me like at that time in my life, and that's when I started to work with the chakras and meditation and the Sanskrit kind of, you know, the yogic path of it all. And then later I was doing poses after that.
Okay. So it all kind of started with your dad's diagnosis for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So
I'm just like, it did. Because you know, you have to be like, thank you. But I always do like brush up there's a moment where I'm like a kid who gets socks on Christmas, where I'm like, thanks so much. But it did, you know, it is, I'm grateful for it the way it is.
Mm-hmm. So since you had that idea of Moon Baby come to you, how has it evolved now? Like, what is it now?
Oh, so now it's like a school. So it's really fun. And, you know, you were a student in it, and we're getting ready for Reiki 2. It happens in January, but it feels like it's becoming much more of a community, kind of like within a community, which is really nice, which is, it feels like really just a natural kind of expression of how it exists here, which is, you know, there was yoga, and there's this just like little nook if you want it. And, you know, it's, to me, all of that stuff, like the woo-woo of it that people, you know, I jokingly say like the resident woo-woo here, but it's all, to me, like you can be as shallow or as deep as you want to be, but like there's water there for you either way. And so it's nice for people who like want to take it a little bit more, like take a deeper drink, to start to have some resources for that, and I'm happy to give it.
So what all do you offer through Moon Baby?
So through Moon Baby, I mentioned that I do Reiki trainings, but like embodied energetics trainings, really. And so our training is different. So it's Reiki trainings. I mentioned that I do Reiki sessions, obviously, with people working one-on-one. And it's really been great to have like clients that keep coming back. And I get to meet people and work with people. And it's like, oh my God, it's just this like super like sacred kind of seat to get to check in and to just watch people like live and be in their bodies, and how that shifts and changes, and in ways that maybe they don't even like aren't always taking the time to see or notice. But I get to it just be this like, it's so, I have so much reverence for it. And so especially like that's given me so much joy, the relationships and clients with people that are like really high touch and really just watching them like beam and expand and grow is a fucking blast. It's the, like, I could cry. It's the coolest thing. It's just the coolest thing in the world. So I get to do that, which is great. And then I do tarot readings, intuitive readings, which are, listen, we have a subtle body. I have subtle senses. I'll tell you about it. So that's what happens in those readings, and that can be really open, like from your chakra system, looking at that, or, you know, whatever I hear. I always say that, you know, that's if you're like a little bit freaked out by me being like, can you say that again or show me that again, then you're in the wrong place. Like, that's what we're doing in here. So we do that, and astrology readings and natal chart reports. And lately, this has been fun. I've been doing way more house calls and stuff. And so like whether that be like private events for like Galentine's, or these people are shifting from, you know, the bachelorette party, I think, to having these really like intimate moments. So I've gotten to do a lot of really cool like in-home group works with like birthday parties or just friend groups. I started to work with the pediatric oncology nurses at UPMC, one of our SEVAs here. So I do a quarterly grief workshop for them to just like help them find some space and like presence in their own bodies, like a place they can run to without having to run, you know? So that's been, I love that work, because I think that we are, you know this, and we've talked about this, like the joy of service. And but I feel like I can surrender the most deeply when I'm like really like, in this like loving service. And so, you know, things like as they're coming together, I think that sometimes it's so overwhelming. I can be like fixated on like, that font's not correct, or, you know, whatever. But in the actual moments, like in this room or in the studio or, you know, in the home or whatever it might be, like there's just nothing else for me, you know. And so that's what it's become, is like much to the chagrin of like anybody that I've dated or met or some friends, like it's my whole fucking life. And I think whenever I made that call and pulled the trigger, like I fully just accepted that, like this is what we're doing now. So that's what I've been doing.
So it seems like you really want to be of service to others. And do you think that your main goal is to bring people home to themselves?
Absolutely. I think I want to bring people home to themselves, because like this all sounds like a crusade, but on the back end, I think like I made whatever I made because I needed it, and it feels really good to like have a purpose from that. And coming home to yourself without being afraid of yourself. And trusting, like not like knocking on the door of yourself and being like, this is the house on the end of the street that my mom told me to avoid for, you know what I mean, on Halloween, or like whenever those things come up, or, you know, whatever. I heard that this house this, and I heard that this house that, and you know, the home, coming home to ourselves, I think there's a lot. I'm really grateful. I talk about like looking in the mirror a lot, helping people look in the mirror and just stay there. Like I want to be of service to help people hold themselves, like the intensity of themselves, and like build the capacity for themselves to just to do that. Because I think in my journey, I can't even stand that word. I can't even, but if I'm being so honest, I can't believe I just said in my journey. In the path, the way I've been walking, I think like looking in the mirror, I've had to really look at a lot of stuff that I had to like learn to love if I was going to keep looking at it, right? And so I'm really grateful to help people maybe learn how to look at it and recognize it and know it, and like really know it enough to love it. Not like love it in spite of, or like it's that like messy thing of like I'm just gonna get rid of it, like, but to like really know it so much that you love it, and then be able to recognize like, oh, I know that, but I'm not that, like I'm right here. And I think that that's where the space happens, and you can start to, you know, it's like that Hanuman thing, like I can't be with, because if I am you, how can I love you? Like how can you have to have this distance for me to like reach to you, and making room for ourselves that way, to fill that space with like riding a different line.
So you haven't always felt at home in yourself?
No, dude. Literally no. Absolutely. Sometimes I still feel like releasing, if we're being super honest. But I think that, I'll say, that's true. And I think that, I have had so fucking much pressure inside. And in the last year of like, you're healed now, you're healthy now, I had on my Instagram like, I am moon baby wellness. I'm not even saying the word wellness anymore. I'm fucking done with it. This is working. And so even if I am leasing, like I will keep signing it every day, but I think that's part of it. It's like living, and it works. Like you have to do it too. Like there's not, because clients come in all the time, Tally, and you probably hear it too sometimes, like, I want to be happy. For what? Like what do you want to, if you're just trying to achieve, but for what? So like that's not really interesting to me. Like I want to be well. Well, what do you want to be well to do? Like for what? Because why, you know? And that's not a fun question. People don't like it, but that's kind of, once you do answer it with like a little bit of play, and it's safe, and it's safe to just be here, and it's not the scary house. And then you're like, oh, I can sleep here. And then maybe you get like a really good night's rest. And then maybe you wake up and you're like, oh, what do I want to eat for breakfast? What do I want to do today? And it's always going to be, I think, a cyclical thing. And I'm so joyful that it cycles, because there's like that exact distance that I need to come back into like loving it again.
So it's a practice.
Yeah.
You're always coming back home to yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, like, was there a point in your life that really made you, like, realize that you weren't at home in yourself?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I say, like, oh, yeah, because now it's so clear and, like, stark that there were a lot of times that I was like, hey, what are we doing here? But also, you know, no, I think that a lot of stuff I really, I was super secretive. Like, let's just, like, say what it is. Like, I was very much, like, no, this isn't going on with me. No, this isn't happening with me. And like being super pissed for anybody like thinking maybe something was going on with me. So, and because I was so pissed that something was going on with me because I wasn't well, right? That like, no, it really took quite a bit to acknowledge, in fact, that like something had to give. I mean, I think that that's probably why I go so hard at it now, is because like I fought so hard about it. I fought that so fucking hard. I remember I was in the psych ward for the first time after my first suicide attempt, and the doctor would come in every morning at 6:30 a.m. and go, he was in, like, I don't know what nationality he was, but all I would just hear, hey, Paige, how you gonna wanna live? And I would stand up and go, I don't, and like lay back down. But when I say like I was fighting, I was like, fuck you guys. Like if life is gonna be like this, I don't wanna be at that party. I'm not going, you can't make me. And I didn't at the time think I was missing out on shit. You know, I thought the whole world was wrong. And I'm so glad I got past that. You know, but
I'm glad you did too.
But that's the truth of it is like, is there a moment? So I never really felt at home, and then really, you know, there was like the assault, and then so I, you know, domestic violence. So like I mentioned, I've had 3 suicide attempts. Like on paper, shit looks maybe crazier than I feel like it is or was, right? You know, the first like sexual like assault, the first time I was raped, right? That was like really, really jarring and was really close to home with my abuser, and so that was just like not like a wave I was willing to make. And that also, you know, we mentioned all this starting right around the time that my dad was diagnosed, and it's also, you know, the same exact time. So when I say like, oh, thanks, it's like some of those things, I don't know why anybody pays like someone on Instagram $4,000 for an initiation, like when your life is doing it for you, dude. Like those were fucking initiations into this shit that took a long fucking time to walk through. And were like very, very real. And so having to keep quiet about that, like just really, I had a lot pushed down that had to come up and out. And then there was a domestic violence situation with a guy I was seeing while I was in teacher training. And that was what it was, which like, I'm sure if we talk enough, like, would have some sort of influence, right? But the year after the assault, I attempted again. And I was living in Pittsburgh. So like totally it was like, I don't talk to you guys. I'm not going home. I wouldn't go in public at home, like so far away. And it still like wasn't enough. Right? And so that's where I'm like, for fucking what? I want to get away from him for what? Because it still wasn't enough. Like I could not accept. I think that was, that I couldn't look around at anybody else in my life and be like, you're doing it. Like I even, you know, in present moment then was not accepting like total reality. And I was really, it's a presence problem. You talk about like root chakra shit. Am I allowed to be alive? Am I allowed to be here? Like I was not even here. I'm still living in what happened a year ago in my body and in my mind. And carrying like that moment with me. And so I was like, oh fuck, like no one else is making me unsafe right now but me.
Mm-hmm.
And like the work had to get started after that.
It's almost like when we go through these hard things and someone does something, eventually we have to take ownership for our experience of it.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the road home, right?
Absolutely. I think that's, I want to be able to, and I'm grateful, like I can, I can with the people that, you know, I work with. And I think that more people might benefit. Like, this is not like self-care and soothing. Like, this is like big time, like nervous system training, like capacity building. Like, okay, being healed doesn't have to be soft, and also being powerful doesn't have to be hard. And so like learning how to have that space where like I can ride those waves without it being like, oh, I gotta be, no, that's just, you know, like those are the things that I went through. Those are the initiations of my life. And that really helps me have way more reverence and respect and space for yours and yours and yours and yours and yours. So what did you learn how to do? And, you know, what doors did you walk through and you learn and all of that stuff. And, I mean, it fucking sucks, but it's the road home. It's the road home to yourself. Your body, what is that quote? And I can't ever find out who said it. Like, your body isn't in the way, your body is the way. Mm-hmm. And I just like I love it so much. It's like how we interface with the world around us. And I was thinking about like, I can be like, yeah, I talk about like autoimmune or fucking the hyper, like whatever. My body was fucking desecrated in ways it shouldn't ever fucking be. So I have to take care of it now. Mm-hmm. Period, the end. So like whether I'm having a pain flare or not, it's my house to maintain. Mm-hmm.
It seems like you went through this initiation so that you could help others through theirs.
Yeah, it's crazy. The amount of like women with like similar experiences to mine, that, you know, it's like, Tally, what is so cool is that like they leave that session and they have no idea. Like no one, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to stand and be like from that place of like I can really give them like their room to be where they are without feeling like, oh, I'm in that kind of, you know, yeah, I'm not like, yeah, it does suck, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're giving them the space to heal it themselves.
But to be able to be still present, I think is, it's so, you know, that's why I say like, oh, I gotta be thankful for it, but when I say capacity building, I talk about, and you know this, I talk about equanimity a lot, and you also help me so much because people are like, just say balance, and I'm like, no, it's a different, but this word specifically is this whole different thing, and blah, blah. But I really think that like that's it, because that was some of the worst shit in the world. But I think when I'm talking about like being equanimous, like those desecrations, those feelings, whatever, like all of that stuff that I really did bury like deep down, like the capacity for that like is directly equal to like the capacity for like joy and gratitude and like offering and service, right, in the exact same line. And like I can't not know, when I was in the 4th grade, when they were like every number can forever infinitely be divided by 2 or multiplied, I'm like, oh my god, this is great. But so if that just is true, then that just is true. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's something that I really I couldn't feel it in my body, and so I couldn't like feel it in my life. And so when I say like your body is the way, I think that feeling that presence there first is, oh, it's so cool. It's the coolest thing in the world.
Oh. Okay, so we kind of talked a little bit about how like people come in and they say like, I want to be happy, and you're like, but why?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, what is your why behind what you do?
My why behind what I do is I think that there's this kind of like death and rebirth cycle that people like we crave as like just humans. It's like part of us. Like I think that that's just, that's part of like living in the trip. And I think that I got really stuck in the death part of it, and in ways I couldn't recognize. And I think that all of it was just this like hunger for becoming, and nobody could tell me what, and like no one could tell me how, but like I had to build that capacity, right? From like, well, that's not like, now the work has to start. So I think that helping people see, and I say death, but it could just be like stagnant or stuck or like confused. Like if you put on a shirt and like you can't tell, like it's from Gabe's maybe, and like so like there's 2 stitches that are wrong. Like it just isn't quite right. Like people who are feeling like that in their skin, I want to help them, find their own, like their connection to themselves so that they can know. Like no one else can tell them. I can't tell you, but I can really get more of you here, and I can get you connected to more of you, and maybe even the part of you that knows, or the part of you that feels good where you want to be, so that you can get the rest of the night that you need and wake up and think, what do I want to do today, or whatever, for your life.
What would you title this chapter of your life?
Just like, I don't know if I want to say like love it, because that's kind of played out, but like maybe just like learning to like love it like it is, or like learning to play it like it is. And I think that I've made a lot of rules for myself. Like it has to be, that really, frankly, it comes from like a bit of ego and self-importance. That's like, if I'm gonna do it, it has to be just so, which is to say that I have to be just so. And so when I say like, play it like it is, or like love it like it is, that means like love you just like you are, and me just like I am, and just like love it, like learning how to like love it like it is, just the way it comes, or play it.
So is that learning to love the present moment?
Yeah, but it's harder than that. It's not like, that sounds like I'm learning to love the present. No, that's like more to me like exactly what is happening, exactly the way it is exactly the way it's supposed to be. Like if I say like I'm like surrendering, like this is, then when I feel like I have no fucking clue what I'm doing, I need to be that confused. I need to be this fucking tired. I need to be at this precipice. I need to push to this limit. I need to sink into this deep of rest, or I need this much nerd, like, good, and, I don't want to paint it like it's all downer, but both. It has to be both. So trusting that, like, the fights that come up, like, these are my fights.
It sounds like you're just releasing any resistance to what's happening in the present moment. And that probably makes the ride a lot smoother, right?
A lot more fun. I feel
Right.
like a lot more fun, dude. A lot more fun to play without that kind of pressure. Yeah.
That's something I'm learning too. So I really love that you're expressing this.
Well, because Tally, and so like I'm trying to create this. I'm like, it has to be about because I can. Well, like, I shake myself, right? Like shake, but no, who cares what you can do? Like, what are you doing? And there's enough. Like, I'm doing enough right now. The Reiki rips. The 2 credit, like building that rips, and making like a chakra, like all these online reads, like there's plenty. And so I think that like getting out of, but it has to, and just seeing what it is, or like making the thing, just getting, stop interfering.
Right.
Stop interfering, because exactly how it is exactly how it's supposed to be.
Well, and you're so zoomed into what you're building that you can't see the bigger picture of it all.
Ever.
I relate.
It's like being the ladle in the soup. Like, the ladle can't see itself in the soup. And you can't, it doesn't know, you know, it's too busy inside, and everybody else is looking like, oh, and it's just like, oh my God, it's so hot in here. So yeah, stop it with a ladle in the soup sometimes though. Just get it. You're fine. You know what I mean? Just do the thing. Yeah.
I'm going to ask the final question.
Okay.
What are you learning to love about yourself?
I am learning to love about myself. I think I'm learning to love about myself that I am here, right? Like, that's been a big problem for me historically, if we're being honest. We are, yeah, I love that I'm here, and I love that, like, there's this sense of, like, I have to believe that, like, it's important that I show up and in myself, but I'm so grateful for, like, all of this stuff, because I believe that it's so true for you. I believe it's so true that, like, the world needs you just like you are, and to take the exact next step, and that everything is just like that we need you. So it's kind of forced my hand, right, to, like, believe that about myself. And in order to keep offering that to people, which is, like, the highest joy in, like, my heart and life, is like, no, feel your body, like, what you can, like, you're behind this, like, you're the space behind, like, what do you want to do? I have to, you know, keep remembering and keep believing that, like, once I learned how to be here in the house, like, then you can decorate or have a party or have people over. But I think that a whole lot of us maybe are coming up against, or are maybe meeting that reckoning, like that happened for me, of just the white knuckling it is not cutting it. Like, the pretending that this isn't what it is, pretending that I don't know what I know, betraying my intuition, you know, fucking the energy that we waste pretending like that we're cool with shit that we're not cool with, the amount of time that we spend rewriting our history to try to make it the one that we want it to be, instead of just carrying whatever the fuck we have in our bags, like, all of that stuff. And it comes up to varying degrees, to varying levels, like, for me still, but now it's so much more like just paddling through instead of, like, these big fucking waves that knock you over. And I really think that it's important that people just, like, learn how to be here, because I think it's really important that they are here. Yeah, and so I'm learning to love that about myself too, so that I can stay in the mix and keep turning the wheel.
I'm grateful that you're still here.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I'd like to leave room at the end if you want to say anything directly to anyone watching this. So it could be a thank you to any of your students, or anything you want it to be.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tally, and thank you to every single student, even if you left a mean class pass review. Thank you to every single client, future client. Thanks to anybody who's, like, really trying or showing up to, like, get people into their bodies in a way that's for everybody and not for any one type of person or lifestyle. Like, everybody, and that means you too. Energy moves, and so do we, so I can help you with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Paige.